Jenny, what's the worst date you've ever been on?
Actually, it's really not hard to forget. It was 5 years ago around, and it was a double date with a friend and her boyfriend who she'd been going out for a while with, and this guy who I don't think I really liked very much in the first place, and after the date it really opened my eyes. Anyway, we got to the restaurant, and it was an Italian restaurant, and it was fancy, and we were there earlier than the other couple. And my dad happened to be there with a couple people, and he offered to buy us a drink while we were waiting for the other couple. Unfortunately, the guy didn't order a traditional drink. He ordered a glass of milk, which was a little off-putting. Then we sat down when the other couple came, and he ordered a Caesar salad, which was much less of a portion than what I ordered. And I was quite shocked, and I said, "Aren't you hungry? Like, this is a dinner date." And he said, "Actually, my mom made dinner, and I just couldn't pass it up." So I said, "Well, okay, that's fine, whatever." He ordered a Caesar salad, and as the waiter was bringing him his salad, he said, "Well, where are the tomatoes?" And I was quick to inform him that Caesar salad did not contain tomatoes. So that was that. Then, finally, the meal came to an end. It was a very lengthy, tiring process. But finally, it did end, and the bill came. And the other guy actually offered to pay half of the bill, assuming that he would pay his share. He looked at the bill and decided to pay for his Caesar salad, minus the tax and tip. So I was left with a lot of the bill, and I was not too pleased. So I think that was probably the worst date I've ever had.
He sounds like a real winner. You should set him up with Karla.
Karla, yeah, you know what? It seems that tons and tons of guys actually call you. Why? Why no dates?
Why do they call me, or why no dates?
Well, it's quite evident why they call you.
Yeah, that's right. They think I'm somebody I'm not. It tends to be after they talk to me for about a half an hour or so, they get put off by how aggressive I am. They find me a tad bit intimidating. I can understand that. But actually, I'm much better focused when I'm single. I'm a much better person single. Although Marla might disagree. Right? You seem to think that what my character is a little different.
Well, it's just when you're going out with someone, you can take out all your anger on them, and then you're nice to your friends. But when you don't have some guy to take out your anger on, then you're not as nice to your friends.
Yeah, I guess I would take on the dominant role in my relationships.
Yes, definitely.
So when I'm single, I'm much more creative, much more work-focused, and I tend to be quite a bit wilder, actually. So that's actually the reason why. But, you know, Marla here, which I've known her forever, she's been with the same guy for 8 years. In those 8 years, I've dated, I don't know, 10, 15 guys.
10, 50. I'm just kidding, yeah.
Whatever. But Marla, how do you do it?
I don't know. I mean, it seems, people keep asking me, oh, 8 years, that seems like forever. It doesn't really seem like that long. It goes quickly. I think it's important. We have our own lives as well as what we do together, but we have our own friends. We work in different places, which is very important. We have different interests and hobbies, and I think it's really important to keep your lives separate. And then, of course, you have a life together, but you really have to have things on the side.
Yeah, you're very... Marla, really? Is that how he keeps the spark? That's how it's kept my spark for those 6-month relationships.
Hobbies, friends.
Yeah.
As I turn all red. No. Just kidding, Steve.
You're very dedicated, very committed, and very independent at the same
That's
time.
right.
It's really it's a nice
It's
combination.
great. I like being in a relationship. It's nice. It's secure.
But you must forget.
And we're happy.
And if you did break up, you'd probably forget how to pick up.
I definitely would forget how to pick up, which is Rachel has the best pickup stories in the world, and I want to hear some.
Okay, let me think of the most creative thing I've ever done to pick up a guy. Well, one day, actually I was with Jenny, and we walked into a restaurant, and there was this really hot guy sitting at the table right when we walked in, and he was sitting with an older man. We assumed it was his father. So we sat down at a table close enough so we could watch him throughout the meal, but far enough away so he wouldn't hear our conversation. And we talked about ways that I could pick up this guy. Because we were in a restaurant, we weren't in a bar where I could just go talk to him. So by the end of our dinner, I took a piece of paper and I wrote down on the piece of paper, "Hi, my name is Rachel. I'd love to hear from you." And my phone number. So Jenny walked out of the restaurant first, and I followed her. And we stopped at his table, and I took the piece of paper and I said, "Excuse me," and I handed it to him. And he looked really confused, and he went, oh, thank you very much. And I guess he thought that he'd either dropped something or that I was the waitress giving him the bill. I don't know what, but he seemed very thankful for this little note. So then I sort of just smiled and walked out of the restaurant, not thinking very much of it. Then, the next day, he called. He said, hi, remember we met at the restaurant last night?
She didn't think he'd call.
I didn't think he'd call.
I can't believe he called.
I
He
know,
called.
yeah.
Well, unfortunately, he turned out to be only 20 years old.
He's probably telling everybody back at school.
Definitely he is.
Oh, I met this hot babe. She came up to me, and even with my
I know,
father,
he
and asked
was.
me
He's
out.
just a baby. And also, he lives in Montreal, so it wasn't really convenient
Yeah.
But
for
it's
me
a
to
good
meet
story.
him.
It's a good
Yeah,
story.
and the
Yeah,
point
good
is,
story.
you've got to take initiative. You've got to go after it, or
You
you're
gotta
not
go
going to
after
get
what you want
anything.
in life.
Exactly.
Yes, I agree.
Exactly.
100%.